One brought to you by Promise Resource Network. Erin and Sharon, you got today. We rhyming everything. It's going to be great.
Yay!
Yay! What I want to tell you first of all is give you some information about our warm line. Promise Resource Network has a 24/7 telephone number you can call if you need to talk. I always say, if it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and your mama's on your butt and you need to vent, call us. We're here. If it's 3 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday and everything is so loud, call us. We're here for that too. Anytime you need to reach out for us, we're here to listen. We're here with resources. We're here to help. So give us a call. The number is 833-390-7728. That's 833-390-7728. All right. So Recovery 201.
Yes.
Advanced. Dun,
Dun,
dun, dun. So in this class, we talk about going a little deeper.
Yeah.
A little deeper. And I've had the opportunity to be dissatisfied lately, which isn't a bad place to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I came across this, of course, on Facebook, where I get all my in-depth spiritual needs met. But
it's 2021.
Yeah, we're isolated. Where do we get it from?
Right.
But this is from Brene Brown, and it says, I think midlife is when the universe gently places her hands upon our shoulders, pulls us close, and whispers in our ear, I'm not screwing around, it's time. All of this pretending and performing, these coping mechanisms that you have developed to protect yourself from feeling inadequate and getting hurt, they have to go. Your armor is preventing you from growing into your gifts. I'm going to say that again. Our armor is preventing us from growing into our gifts. I understand we needed these protections when we were small. I understand that we believed our armor could help us secure all the things we needed to feel worthy of love and belonging. But we're still searching, and we're more lost than ever. Time is growing short. There are unexplored adventures ahead of us. We can't live the rest of our lives worried about what other people think. We were born worthy of love and belonging. Courage and daring are coursing through us. We were made to live and love with our whole heart. It's time to show up and be seen. That struck me so hard, because it is about going deeper in our recovery, right? Yesterday, Sam and Robin and I talked about the stages of recovery, and, you know, where it begins, and you know, that pre-contemplation where we're like, you know, something just isn't right. I just don't, you know, maybe this isn't all there is to the world, all there is to my life. Maybe there's more. Being further in recovery and having that realization again is a beautiful thing, because there is more. There is more to be had. I know this because I know people who have it, who have this, who have not covered themselves up with their armor to prevent our gifts from growing, right? I want more today. I want deeper. I want significant. I want life-changing again. And it's to be had. I believe that. I believe that I can be as happy as I choose to be. You know?
Absolutely.
I think I can find a path that will make things a little easier for me. Let me read this quote for you. It talks about pain. Pain, any emotional, physical, or mental pain, has a message. The information is about our life. The information it has about our life can be remarkably specific, but it usually falls into one of two categories. One, we would be more alive if we did more of this. We would be more alive if we did more of this. And the other message, life would be more lovely if we did less of that. Once we get the pain's message, following it, its advice, the pain will go away. And that's by Peter McWilliams. It's no matter where we are in our recovery, I believe it comes down to figure out what's working and do more of it.
Right. Yeah.
And figure out what's not working in my life and do less of that.
And not be afraid of taking those chances and putting yourself out there and finding those things that you like. The armor thing that we talked about in that first quote speaks so much to me, because in my early recovery, I felt like I had to gear up. I was facing something, that I had never faced before. And I was given all of these tools and these messages and these resources, and I started using them as armor, and I would put them on and I would guard myself from my old ways, my old habits, old people, whatever it was. But now that I'm in a little further into my recovery, I'm realizing that armor may not actually fit me anymore. It may actually need to be removed, because it's preventing me from reaching that next step, from finding that next thing. It holds me back in a way. Like, for example, building relationships, friendships, or just putting myself out there. I felt like I had to be small. That armor protected me when I was small. It's very critical in the beginning, because you are very small and you're up against this new world. But now it's like, I see the world and I want more of it. I want to grab more of it. I want to reach another higher level and just keep going and keep going. And that armor it just doesn't fit. It needs to be taken off. It needs to be relooked at and reevaluated.
We can hide in our recovery.
We can.
We
and
really
that
can.
is I've done that too.
Yeah. Oh God, I've done that. I've hidden from myself.
Yes,
I've hidden from other people.
Yes.
I've hidden from my higher power.
Yeah.
And it is that armor that becomes too small. I love that.
Yeah.
Because we do grow. I remember my first moment in treatment, I literally felt the armor on me that I had accumulated in my lifetime up to that point. Just shit that could protect me. Everything from humor to meanness, protected me from all that had hurt me before. Yeah. And I remember sitting in that treatment center with this armor on, and I had the look of, I don't know what on my face. If you just come on over and talk to me. I'll explain some stuff to you. Yep. I was so angry. Yeah.
But that anger is fear.
Yeah.
It's fear.
It is.
And that's that fear turned into anger for me too.
It does. It protects us. It protects us. And that's not a bad thing.
No.
I think we all come to that point in early recovery where we can say, is this really what I want in life? All this disconnectedness, all this feeling of brokenness, but we can get to that point again. They talked a little bit, not a whole lot, when I was in a 12-step rooms about being a dry drunk. And I can assure you, I've been a dry drunk a couple of times throughout my career in recovery, and it is not fun. Yeah. It is where I took that old armor and patch-mealed it all over me, just kind of tacked it onto me. Yeah. It didn't fit anymore, but it's all I had. And my goal was just to keep people at bay. Yeah. And to keep myself at bay. See, when, one of the steps is we do a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves, and then we tell our higher power, ourselves, and another human being everything that we've done and has been done to us. Well, I didn't mind. I figured God was there throughout. He knew what was going on. Higher power got it. Yeah, no problem. Don't have to worry about that part of it. I didn't even mind telling another person. But when I got to the point of being there, being present for that discussion about myself, that I was uncomfortable with. That I was uncomfortable with. Being part of the conversation of growth can be scary.
It can.
It can be really scary.
But we have to be present for that conversation.
we've got to be open for it.
We have to be, yeah. Because that's where the real light comes in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's good deal. We got any comments so far?
Yep, I got Demetra is here.
Hey.
Hello, my love. Mwah, mwah, mwah. She said she was in denial for a long time about her addiction. Absolutely. So was I.
Yeah.
Very much so.
It was what protected me.
It was. That was part of, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I needed that.
Mm-hmm.
That was my only coping tool up to that point.
Mm-hmm. Mine too.
And to take that away was terrifying.
It was awful. Yeah.
And here we sit again in a similar place, armored up against higher power, self, and others
Mm-hmm.
for fear.
Mm-hmm.
So what do? What do we do then? Do we? Hold on, let me get that. I love
we
this.
Got to reevaluate.
Yeah. Is your armor preventing you from growing into your gifts?
Yes.
We got Marv in the house. Hey, Marv.
Hey. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, your armor is preventing you from finding your gifts. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep, from growing into your gifts.
Yeah.
And it does. It's holds us back.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It holds us in prison.
Keeps us small.
Yeah.
But we got to get to that place where we're bigger. We're greater than our fear, greater than our trauma and our substance use or whatever it is.
Mark, would you be so lovely as to go ask them to stop that during class? I'm not sure. Go out there and find you. Listen and you shall find them. I assure you.
Okay. I shall go find you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Let's read a little bit of this. It says, have you noticed how afraid we are of feeling any emotional pain and how we would do anything in our power to avoid it? Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nobody wants it. We try to get rid of it. We try to hide and run away from it. And the irony is the more we reject and resist it, the more intense it gets and the longer it stays with us. It says we all have our ups and downs. We all experience emotional pain from time to time. But that doesn't mean there's something wrong with us. It doesn't mean that we're broken or defective.
Mm-hmm.
On the contrary, it only shows that we are human, that we have feelings and emotions. Oh yeah, if I could have checked off those feelings and emotions, yeah, I'll do without this. Thank you.
Yeah. Now I'm good.
This freaks my brain out.
Hard
like
pass.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So it talks about 12 tips to recovering from emotional pain. Hi, yeah, we're right in the middle of class. Thank you. Embrace the grace, all that you face. Everything you are against weakens you.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you are empowers you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Embrace
So what are we
with
feeding?
grace. Yeah, what are we feeding? Yes.
That's the key. That's what I always try to remember.
Right.
I'm always feeding something with attention,
right.
with love,
with anger,
with fear, all these things.
with
It's just about
sadness.
energy.
Yeah.
What am I putting my energy into?
Right. And I have to check myself on the daily, multiple times a day. I find myself in situations, I'm a mother, I have 2 young children. I can easily get overwhelmed with just balancing everything, taking everything that's going on and at one time can feel so heavy. And I have to ask myself, Erin, what are you going to give your energy to? Are you going to give it to the shame or the guilt? Are you going to give it to, positive things that can help me? Or am I going to take a step and just say, hey, let me breathe. Let me be in this moment. This is a real moment. These feelings that I'm feeling are real. I am overwhelmed, but where do I go from here? What am I going to give my energy to?
Yeah.
And that moment of just asking myself that can really shift where I go from there.
Because it brings us back to the moment.
Exactly.
It brings us back to breath.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not even breathe, breath.
Breath. Yep.
Just one breath.
Yeah.
It says, let go of any feelings of anger, disgust, or frustration you might have towards yourself, your emotional pain, or your current reality. Resist nothing. Mm-hmm. Embrace with grace all that you face. Surrender what surrender to what is, accept what you're going through, all your thoughts and feelings and frustrations, accept your emotional pain as if you have chosen it.
Mm. But
Ooh,
and as terrifying as that can be,
Yeah.
that gives you the power, your power back. And I feel like that is so important, and especially important for me, is just knowing that I still have my power. So
Yeah.
I can accept things. Acceptance is a hard one too. And say like this, okay, this is for me. What am I going to do with it?
yeah. And this is me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? To accept those parts of us,
Right.
those things that we are not necessarily comfortable with.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
As if we have chosen it. Accept your emotional pain as if you've chosen it. Ooh. I don't know whether I like this stuff or not, because it calls for a bravery, a courage that that I don't know that I've tapped into in a long time.
Yeah.
We coast, we can hide, we can coast in recovery and just be satisfied with
Yeah.
9 to 5.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Be satisfied with just getting, just like pre-recovery. I was just existing on crumbs,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When this whole buffet was before me.
Right.
But I didn't think that I was worthy of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I felt the same way.
So do we step up again and realize how worthy we are of more and more and more? Reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy in the next. I want supremely happy in this life.
Mm-hmm.
I want more
Yeah.
today.
Mm-hmm.
And we're allowed that. That's what's a beautiful thing
Yes.
about recovery.
Yep.
Man, you can get as much of it as you can take.
Mm-hmm.
You can go as deep as you want to go at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But you said it, be in the moment, being where our feet are is so critical to me.
Yeah.
And that's my hardest lesson, I think.
You were
Today.
talking in that statement about resist.
Uh-huh.
Well, James always says, what you resist will persist.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
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 But Miss Motley said it would be funny if we saw the armor we really wore when we thought we were being a go-ahead mess with me armor. Imagining how backwards and upside down we actually were. Our armor was taped with duct tape and made out of plastic. We thought it was unbreakable, made with platinum. That is so true.
Wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I thought I had it all handled.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just pieces of
plastic,
trash that I picked up over the years.
Yeah.
Other people, things that other people threw away, I grabbed a hold of to protect myself with.
Absolutely.
And I don't have to use that armor today.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, I do believe that it is important that we protect ourselves, of course.
It is, absolutely.
But I can't have something on me so thick that it won't let the universe in.
Right.
And it won't let me out.
What's the topic today?
Well, the topic today, Alan, is going deeper. So we're talking about embracing our emotional distress, going deeper to find more and more and more happiness. So we're all in the right place. It says, give yourself time. It takes time to drive out darkness from our minds and our hearts. It takes time to accept the presence of emotional pain in our lives. So give yourself time to rest, time to heal, and time to fully recover. Be gentle with yourself and trust everything happens exactly as it's supposed to happen.
Grace and time go hand in hand. So you give yourself a little grace, but allow yourself some time, to process, to trust that everything happens exactly as it's supposed to.
I do. It says in some of the literature I've read that absolutely nothing happens in higher powers world by mistake. I go back and forth with that. I don't know if it's all predestined or if I just have to choose not to waste what I've experienced. Sometimes my brain is that big, so I try not to get into that real. But if I don't waste every lesson I've learned up to this point,
right,
that's significant.
Yeah, it is.
That's significant. And to give ourselves time is critical because It does. It takes a while for me to just unclench, let alone relax, and then accept. You know,
Right.
it's a process.
It is
It's a
process.
process. Number 3, this is a big one for me. Let go of control. There is a time for being ahead, a time for being behind, a time for being in motion, a time for being at rest, a time for being vigorous, a time for being exhausted, a time for being safe, a time for being in danger. The master sees things as they are without trying to control them. She lets them go their own way and resides at the center of the circle. Ooh, to let go to the point where you can just let it swirl around you. Wow. It says, please refrain yourself from making comments like, I have been feeling like this for far too long. I should feel fine by now. Why does it take so long for this pain to be gone? And so on. Allow things to follow their natural course. Allow yourself to heal at your own pace. Let go of the need to control the healing process. Let go of the need to speed up your recovery. But I want it now. I want patience right now.
In the world that we live in, it's quick. I want a quick fix. You know, that's how I ended up being, you know, in my unwellness.
Yeah.
Was wanting things quickly, and taking whatever I could get just to feel a little bit better.
Yeah. Or feel a little bit of nothing.
Feel a little bit of nothing. Right. And those comments, like, I am guilty of doing this all the time. I have been feeling this for too long. I should be fine by now. Says who?
I've been doing this for
Says,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is your journey. This is your experience. And these feelings, that those comments, you know, they're real. They happen, but they make us small again.
Yeah.
Because then it's still giving all that power to what happened to us or what we've experienced, and taking away from what we have inside of us to give to our recovery, to give to, you know, ourselves
and our fellows.
Yep, and
I
our fellows.
used to hate it when people would tell me wellness doesn't happen overnight. And I go, but I want it to.
I know, we all do.
I want it now. I want it now.
I thought when I checked myself into detox, I walked into, hey, Tiffany.
Good to see you. Have a seat. Yeah, we're on.
When I checked myself into detox, I thought to myself, this was real. I really told myself, I'm going to go to detox. I'm going to be 5-6 days clean, or without drugs in my system. And then I'm going to go out back into the world and everything's going to be good.
Peachy keen.
We're going to be great.
Absolutely.
No problem. I
got
put that life that I lived before when I was doing all the gunk I brought with me. It was going to stay at the detox center.
Yep.
And I was going to be okay. And I was still in that mentality that, like, this is going to happen overnight. But what I found in the time it took, the work that I put into it, and, you know, the journey that came after that was where all the real good stuff came from.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of people told me, like, what, you know, you don't have drugs in your system anymore. You should be fine. And I started to believe that. Well, what's wrong with me still?
Yeah.
What's wrong with me? And it made me small.
Yeah.
It made me very small. So we take it deeper. You know, we allow those thoughts to come in. I know this is so corny, but I always think of it like a wave. You know, the wave comes up to the shore, it touches your feet, and then it rolls right back out. And that's just kind of what I have to do with a lot of feelings, a lot of thoughts, a lot of, you know, stuff that happens. I just have to let it come, but I don't dwell. And I let it roll back out. I know it's so corny, but
no, but the more we struggle, in the surf,
right,
the harder it is.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been receiving the same message: float.
Yeah.
Just float a minute. Just relax. Just surrender. Just accept. Yeah. Just be. You know, but that is so hard for me because I'm a doer, not a beer.
Yeah.
You know, we're taught this is what you do to demonstrate. This is what you do to change. This is what you do, and there is truth in that, definitely. But at some point, I just gotta be.
We just gotta let go a little bit.
Yeah.
We gotta unclench those hands.
Ah.
Because did I want to grab on to everything?
Hard and never let go. What is it? We don't let it go without claw marks.
Yes.
Suffer consciously. Observe your emotional pain, your anguish, your frustrations. Observe the constant stream of negative thoughts that run through our minds, the dreadful stories that keep feeding our pain, but choose not to identify ourselves with them. See yourself as one who's observing all the emotional pain and all the discomfort, but don't make the pain part of who you are. Don't make it your person life story. Don't claim it as your own. So be aware of it. Observe it.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what because I dive in, Gee, I'm not feeling well. Backstroke. Oh, this is lovely. I remember this.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Feeling of misery and pain and all that. Absolutely.
There was a movie out, and the people are still watching it, where the words in it are "Let it go, let it go." Frozen.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically what they're doing. Is they're letting it go.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna happen. So
we have to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And suffering consciously, being aware but not letting it stay.
Yeah.
Not making it our how we identify ourselves. Saying, "Oh, I'm not just an addict. I'm a person, or
Yeah.
I'm more than."
I'm Sharon.
Yeah, I'm Erin.
Yeah.
Hey,
what up?
And I've learned that so much here at PRN is that, I used to introduce myself to everybody as an addict.
Yeah.
I'm an addict. And it made me small.
Yeah. Those labels that we put on ourselves can be very detrimental. I've been in many meetings, professional meetings, where people go around and say, "Hi, I'm Sam. Hi, I'm Jamie." Comes over to me. "Hi, I'm Sharon. I'm glad to be here." Just so you say I'm an alcoholic, or I'm an addict, or I'm a fill in the blank. What am I? What is that deficit in me that I identify myself with, instead of the gift? That armor being part of our deficit. Oof. It says suffering consciously is when you feel, sense, and accept suffering. It's not suffering anymore, it's just pain. To be suffering, you must have an unhappy me with a story and the world that is doing it to me. So that constant, we talked about bondage of self and that constant opera. Me, right? Where it's all about me and I can't get past my own suffering. And not to take away from the significant traumas that we've all been through.
Right.
Never take away from that, because they are real and they are parts of us.
Absolutely.
But I don't have to get stuck in the whole of that.
Right.
I am not my addiction today. I am not the pain that I've been through in my past. I am not lost and broken and defective. Right. And once I can get to the point where I can begin to wrap my head around that, it gets easier.
Yeah.
It gets easier. And then it gets deeper. And then it gets deeper. What we got for comments? Anybody yelling out to us?
Let's see. Miss Porter is here.
Hey, Kim.
Hey, Kim. Miss Ivy is here. Miss Law is here. They just said good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Glad you guys can be with us and let us know your thoughts. What maybe that can relate to you in your journey or what you've experienced. Just chime in.
Because we're all trying to go deeper.
Yeah. Right.
We're all just trying to get as much out of this life as we can, I think. Wrestle it. Wrestle it. I can't even talk anymore.
Where are you from again?
Where are you from, West Virginia?
Wrestle it.
Wrestle it. And at the same time, cease fighting everything and everyone.
Right.
It's easy stuff. Really easy stuff here. Easy stuff.
Mhm.
Love your pain away. Nobody likes to be in the presence of pain. We all want to get rid of it, to run as far away from it as we possibly can. But there are times when pain demands our presence, our focus, and our attention. There are times when pain demands to be felt. So take the time to know your emotional pain, to nourish it, and to understand it. Don't curse your pain. Love your pain, and it will go away. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that.
Mm.
Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Martin Luther King Jr. Wow.
Wow, it's just that one sentence right there. Take the time to know your emotional pain, to nourish it, and to understand it.
Wow.
To nourish pain. That idea of that can be a lot.
Yeah.
That can be a lot.
Yeah. Going back to embracing it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Last week, Stefan had asked me, how do you change from negative to positive?
Mhm.
And I told him a few things that I like to use, but I discovered one over the weekend. And I asked him, I said, what do you love the most
Mm-hmm.
in your life right now?
Mm-hmm.
I said, I think I pretty well know what it's going to be. And he said, well, what do you think it's going to be? I said, your son.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And I said, now can you be negative when you're around your son? So that's the positivity. You think about your son, and you're going to erase the negativity
Right.
and be positive.
It is that love. It's that tapping into what it is that feeds the inner man.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the two wolves.
Yeah. What wolf are you going to feed today? Is it the good, loving, kind, giving wolf, or is it the negative, the fear, the anger, the hatred?
Right.
What we feed grows today. What we feed grows. Absolutely. It says, give time. That's annoying. Time heals almost everything. Give time. Regina Brett. Takes time to drive out darkness from our minds and from our hearts. It takes time to heal our wounds and accept the presence of emotional pain into our lives. So give it time. That can be, for those of us, especially with ADHD. I got it without the H. I'm not very hyper, but it's just the attention deficit. But to wait, to sit with it, makes me uncomfortable.
It does.
Going back to I want what I want when I want it,
Right.
Yeah.
which that instant gratification that I was so accustomed to. Letting time take time is difficult for me.
Solomon says there's a time for everything.
There is, yeah.
Yep.
And that goes back to what we just talked about with let go of control.
Yeah.
There's a time for being ahead, a
Yeah.
time for being behind, a time for being in motion, for rest, for being vigorous, to be exhausted, to be in danger, to be safe. Absolutely.
And to know what time you're in, I guess, is another key.
Mm-hmm.
To be aware, to understand our emotions enough with what I've gone through, with what I'm feeling now, that I can allow myself to process it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be done with it. I want somebody to unscrew my head, take all
Take
that
all
crap
those little
out,
burn them.
bury them, all that
Yeah.
stuff, and just screw it out. Yeah, it doesn't work that way though, unfortunately. Oh, if it only were to work that way.
Mm-hmm.
Spend time alone with yourself. When you love someone, you spend private time with that person, quality time. And in the dark moments of our lives, when pain is present in our hearts and in our minds, spending time alone with ourselves is one of the best gifts we can give ourselves. Wow. Take time to be alone with yourself, to acknowledge, love, and appreciate the parts of you that are beautiful. To love yourself and to know yourself. To rest, time to heal and fully recover from all that you're feeling.
Spending time alone with yourself is I used to hate being alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always found that when I laid down at night, my deepest, darkest thoughts always came to me in that silence.
Yeah.
To just lay there, to close my eyes, to try to go to sleep, and I would be hit like with a flood of just all of these feelings. And yeah, I mean, as I got on in my recovery and I started to heal some of those parts of me that were causing those thoughts, you know, but it took a lot of time, just me and me, because that's who I have till the end.
Yeah.
It's me.
To be comfortable in the lonely moments.
Mm-hmm.
And
falling in love with myself again, and being alone with myself in those moments. Protected a lot of people too, because, you know, at one point in time, I would, you know, project to other people, and it would damage a lot of relationships. We got a little phone call.
Jesus, we
Who's
just got all
that?
kinds of stuff. I'm all right.
Yeah.
If you just call me Promise Resource Network,
Right.
I hung up.
Oh no.
I don't know anybody even has that number.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I didn't know we had a number.
I didn't either. Yeah.
Okay. Today has been an interesting day.
I feel like it should be Monday.
It should be.
No resistance.
No resistance.
No persist.
What you resist will persist.
Miss Motley said, I found that making my environment that I go to bed and wake up to please to see helped me to shift my ability to not carry or define what negative I was exposed to or chose to internalize. Mindfulness is a motivation that will be our constant breath of carrying peace into our day and spread gently into others. That is so true.
Wow.
I'm loving
Thank
that
you,
comment.
Holly. That is awesome.
I am loving that.
Wow.
Mindfulness. Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Being in the present, being with ourselves at this very moment.
Mm-hmm.
As terrifying as that can be.
Absolutely.
Right? But I know that once I do something once,
Do it again.
I can do it again. And then I have hope for a similar outcome or even a better outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So
Feel accomplished.
with all the things we do in recovery, I think one of the biggest keys for me is to practice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to practice that letting time take time, to practice that putting love into everything, including me.
Practice giving yourself grace.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Embracing.
I let me see if I can get this. I'm going to try not to screw it up, but I found a quote the other day that a dear friend of mine said. I don't know if she made it up or if she just repeated it, but it said, grace is me getting what I deserve.
Mm-hmm.
Mercy is me not getting what I deserve.
Mm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But that grace and mercy that we can have with ourselves, that we can try to let settle in us
Mm-hmm.
as part of a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Let's see. Well, Shonda said, I hope I said that correctly. Everyone have different addictions, whether it be pills, drugs, alcohol, or even food. Mine is food. It doesn't necessarily have to be pain and misery that you know that keeps you there. It is to acknowledge your problems, face it, pray, to find your good way of coping skills, rather it be journaling and get it out all on paper. Then when you feel up to it, confront the problem.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that's it, Nikki. You are so on, and sticking with people that have been there.
Yeah.
You know, I've when I first got into recovery, I found my way into the 12 steps, and I didn't know how to be anything.
Right.
I didn't know how to do anything. I just, covered everything up with alcohol and drugs and everything all my life. And to learn how to be a friend was a mystery to me. You know, I always say I was your friend if I had drugs, alcohol, a car, or money, and you were my friend if you had any of those. And that's as deep as it ever got. And I had to learn to go deeper. I had to learn to go deeper as an employee, as a wife, as a daughter, as a mother, as all those things.
Yep.
You know? Good stuff. Your armor is preventing you from growing into your gifts. I want to keep going back to that.
Me too.
I want to keep trying to remember that in the ways today that I try to protect myself, I can actually be continuing to harm myself.
Right.
You know? So what in my toolbox doesn't fit anymore? That constant reevaluation of, is this working?
Is this working? Yeah.
Is it working?
What could I be without it?
Even warriors take their armor off every now and then.
Yeah. For maintenance, for cleaning, for rest. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to read this one more time, and then I think we're going to see where we go. I think midlife is when the universe gently places her hand upon your shoulders, pulls you close, and whispers in your ear, I'm not screwing around. It's time. All this pretending and performing, these coping mechanisms that you've developed to protect yourself from feeling inadequate and getting hurt, they have to go. Your armor is preventing you from growing into your gifts. I understand that you needed these protections when you were small. I understand that you believed your armor could help you secure all of the things you needed to feel worthy of love and belonging. But you're still searching, and you're more lost than ever. Time is growing short. There are unexplored adventures ahead of us. You can't live the rest of your life worried about what other people think.
Yeah.
You were born worthy of love and belonging. Courage and daring are coursing through you. You were made to live and love with your whole heart. It's time to show up and be seen.
Yep.
It's time to show up and be
Be
seen.
seen.
All right.
Yes.
And the most beautiful thing about recovery is it has the ripple effect. When I show up, when I suit up, show up, and am seen, it allows room for someone else to suit up, show up, and be seen. To be a part of this recovery thing, this movement, this worldwide phenomenon. Right? Disneyland. We work at Disneyland, baby. And it is. Recovery is the most amazing thing that I have ever experienced in my life. And I'm so grateful today that I have this opportunity.
Me too.
You know, just to be, as much as I'll let myself be me today, just to be me is pretty cool. Well, we got the warm line down there. If you need to call somebody, give us a yell.
Please do.
If you want to reach out to us, let me give you our Miss Kim's number. Miss Kim Porter is at our welcome desk. If you have any questions, if you need to talk to somebody specifically, give her a yell. That's 704-390-7709. All right. Stick with us. We're sticking with you.
Yes.
We're all in this together. The most beautiful thing about recovery today is we're not alone. We're not alone. I want to thank y'all for being out there. I want to thank Erin. I want to thank our guests for being here.
And just to let you know, PRN has now opened our doors. So we are here. Our peer supports are here. I am one of them here at the hub and in our recovery court position. So come down, talk with us, meet with us. We are here for you and you are here for us. And we are
Kumbaya on it, baby. We're at 2224 The Plaza, right on the corner of Parkwood and the Plaza in Charlotte. So come by and see us. We have classes every day, 10, 11:30, and 1. Swing by. Check us out. We're here. Thank goodness we're back. Yay! All right. We'll see y'all later. Thanks for being out there.